Hi everyone, welcome back to today's video. Today is day 10. It is day 10, right? Yes, it's day 10 of my 25 days of Christmas. So if you have not been following along, I am posting a new project every single day for the first 25 days of December leading up to Christmas. And we are on day number 10. How is that even possible that we are already 10 days into this? I cannot believe it. So we're going to be making this super adorable card for today's project. Before we jump into that though, I did just want to mention, all of the products that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today are available 24/7 on my shopping page, which you can get to just by going to littlemooncreation.stampinup.net. There's also a link in the description box below. The first link in the description box is to the coordinating blog post for this video, and that has all of the product numbers, description of everything, paper sizes, all of that good stuff, and a way to shop from there also. But throughout this 25 days, I just have felt very grateful for being able to do something that I really truly love, which is sharing these projects with you, sharing my creations with you. And so I just wanted to stop for a second and thank everybody that has supported my little business along the way, because it really means a lot. And, you know, it's really nice to be able to stop and at the end of a really long, crazy day, be able to film a video and share with you guys something that I really love and really enjoy doing. So I'll stop getting all sappy and emotional, but I just wanted to mention that first before we jumped into this. So if you're keeping along with all of the products and stuff that I'm talking about, you can purchase them 24/7 over, like I said, it's littlemooncreation.stampinup.net. So let's jump into this one. I will be honest, I purchased the Arrange a Wreath bundle a long time ago when our new catalog first came out. And I was like, I have to have it. It's beautiful. I'm going to do amazing things with it. I absolutely love it. I love the kind of like creating a scene, like creating a wreath, obviously in this context, and this is the first time I've used it, and I am kicking myself because this is probably my favorite card that I have made so far throughout my 25 days of Christmas. I'm trying to think, because I have designed some of the other projects that are going to be coming up already, and I still think this is my favorite. If it's not my favorite, I'm probably forgetting something. If it's not my favorite, it is definitely up there at the very top because I love it. I just love it so stinking much. So I'm going to stop blabbing about it. I'm going to show you guys how we actually make it. And it's actually really easy. So this is, like I said, the Arrange a Wreath bundle, which is the Arrange a Wreath stamp set, as well as the Wreath Builder dies. We're going to be using one stamp from the stamp set, so the focus on this is really these dies. And if you don't have the stamp set, you don't really need it. You could use any kind of stamp, any kind of greeting that you wanted to. That's really what we're going to be using the stamp set for. So if you're trying to kind of pick and choose, I would say definitely go with the dies because they are the most important in this piece. In this card. So let's start talking about how we make this. So there are two, here I'll set this to the side for a second and I'll zoom in also. So there are two dies that are included in the die set that really build your wreaths. So in the sorry, I don't know where I was going with that. Trying to be a little time cautious or time sensitive. I went ahead and I started the wreath ahead of time so you guys didn't have to watch me cut out all the pieces and punch them out and put them together and whatnot. So this is the way that I did this. The two colors of green that I am using are Pear Pizzazz and Garden Green. So I took this die here. Let me move this over. I took this die and I cut it out once in Pear Pizzazz and once in Garden Green. I then took Garden Green and I put that as my bottom layer, and I took the Pear Pizzazz and I put that on top. I actually did it to both of them, but especially with the Pear Pizzazz, I actually put an adhesive sheet on the back. And I'll show you, it's just like this. I put an adhesive sheet on the back. These are our adhesive sheets. I've talked about these a lot lately because they are probably one of my favorite tools that I don't really feel like people talk a ton about because I think some people just forget about them. Whatever you're doing, like intricate kind of dies or anything like that, put an adhesive sheet on the back and it makes adhering your project together 1,000 times easier. So I put adhesive sheet on the back and then I cut out the die. And then I just put, like I said, the Pear Pizzazz on top of the Garden Green, and that is this piece here. So now I actually don't need this one anymore. because I only did the 2. I am now going to take this one. This is Garden Green. Like I said, I already have my adhesive sheet on the back, and we're going to cut this out. So let's bring in our cut and emboss machine. Get our little sandwich all ready to go here. Y'all, I am getting new plates in the mail, hopefully any day now, because these plates are just disgusting, and I feel like I need new plates. So that's just my caveat. I had to say that because they are coming, y'all. They are coming, okay? We also got to pre-order the mini cut and emboss machine, and mine should be coming any day now. It was supposed to be here last week, and I don't know what exactly happened. But anywho, I'm excited to get the little mini and start playing with that and be able to show you guys that one. So now we have cut out, and sometimes you need to check the back. This one looks to be pretty good. Because we added that adhesive sheet layer, sometimes you want to crank it through a couple times to really get it nice and cut, but this one seems to be okay. I am able to release this pretty easily, so no worries there. Now we're going to pop out the center piece here also. And these actually come out really easily for as intricate, especially the other die. I mean, look at all of these little pieces. As intricate as this one actually is, it really comes out really easily. Having the adhesive sheet on the back does give it a little extra thickness. So I think the thickness and the extra support of that helps sometimes also, but really easy. So now I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm just going to peel off the backing of the adhesive sheet, and then all of this has adhesive on it already. So I don't have to worry about glue, anything like that. Now, I'm just going to go for this. I'm just going to stick it down, and it's just going to go where it goes. If you want to be a little bit more precise and you want a little bit more time to play, you might want to use a liquid glue. The fine tip glue pen would work well. The oh, what's the other glue? I can't remember what the other glue is because I don't use it anymore, but you could absolutely use that. And because it's a liquid glue, it would give you a little bit of extra playtime. I don't think you would really even be able to use like the seals on this because it's such an intricate piece. You're not gonna get the result that you want. So what I'm going to do is there's like a line here that kind of goes around. That's the wreath. So I'm just going to, the best of my ability, line this up. It doesn't have to be perfect. And like I said, I'm just going to kind of go for it. I'm just going to set it down, and wherever it lands is where it lands. And then I'm just going to smush it down. And because I put that adhesive sheet on there and I peeled the backing off, now this is all stuck together. It's one nice solid piece, and it wasn't hard at all to put together. And these layers really give it a nice depth. So you have the couple of layers of the first die that we used, and then the nice big leaves on top. I just think it looks really, really beautiful, and it gives a very, very pretty look to this. So now what should we do next? Let's go ahead and start putting everything together. This card is that simple, you guys. It's so, so, so simple. But now that I'm thinking about it, before we do that, I'm going to take this, which is my piece of crumb cake. I'm also going to take my rich raspberry ink, and I'm going to take this stamp from that stamp set that says Merry Christmas. Sorry, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to place my die. Now, I'm not adhering this down, or my wreath. I'm not adhering this or anything. I'm just kind of getting a placement for it so that I can do my Merry Christmas right in the center. Just like that. So now we can start putting this all together. You can wait until the end to do your greeting also if you wanted to. I just like to do it right before I started adhering everything together, so you don't have all the layers and all of that kind of stuff that you have to compete with. I'm now just going to grab my seal. put my crumb cake piece down on my rich raspberry piece. The other thing about this card is it's not a traditional size, so it actually is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So it'll still fit in our standard size envelopes. It'll look really, really nice, but it's just a different shape, which I kind of like. It's a different size, and I think it's one of the reasons that I really, really like this card, because it stands out. It looks really, really nice and unique and beautiful. So now I'm going to take a bunch of mini dimensionals, and I'm really going to be intentional and try to place them where a lot of the cardstock of our wreath kind of meets, so that when you have it flipped over, you don't really see the dimensionals. Like, I can see this one a little bit. Honestly, I'm not going to worry about it. For me, it's not that big of a deal if you see some of them shining through, if you want to call it shining. I'm not going to worry too much about it. I am just going to put them where I think they are needed. And because you have so many layers, you're not really going to see this. Like, I see it because I know that they're there, but for most people aren't going to see it. They're not going to be looking for a dimensional to be there. It's like the backing on that little guy didn't want to come off. Okay. So now we're going to take our little wreath. Now we're going to place it here right in the center of our piece of crumb cake. That looks pretty good to me. Next, I'm going to scooch that off to the side just for a second. So this is from the Florals for Every Season. I think it's like ribbon combo pack, I want to say. And it's this really nice white ribbon. It's a very, very simple fabric ribbon. If you have not used this or not played with this before, I highly recommend getting it because it's so versatile. You can actually color this ribbon. So it's obviously white, but you could make it any color you wanted or needed to match your project. It's a very, very, very nice ribbon to work with, and it's super easy to work with. It's not a really difficult ribbon because it's that more fabric-y type ribbon. It's just really nice to work with. So I'm just going to do a very simple little bow here. Just like so. I'm not going to fiddle around with it too much. I just want to try to get the general size right. I know I keep moving the spool back and forth. So I'm going to kind of place it on my card and see, yeah, I think that size looks about right to me. So I'm going to go ahead and snip it off so it's no longer attached to the spool. Scooch that off to the side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to dovetail the ends of this ribbon. So I'm actually going to attach it first. I do find that attaching it first makes it a little bit easier. So I'm just going to take a glue dot and I'm going to find the way that I think it lays the best. I think it's going to be this way. Stick that down. And I'm going to put it right here in the center and smush it down just like that. So, so pretty. Now you could just snip these and leave it. Like I said, I'm going to be a little extra because it's just where we're at for today. So I'm actually going to trim them down so that they're the relative length that I'm looking for. And then I'm going to go ahead and dovetail them. So if you don't dovetail ribbon, and I guess I should be in camera so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. What you're going to do is you're going to fold the ribbon in half just like this. And then you have a side that has the crease. Actually, let me zoom in a little bit so hopefully it's easier for you to see. Just have to remember to stay in camera. So you fold it in half and then you have a side that has the crease and then you have a side that's open, right? So you're going to take the side that has the crease and you're going to start there and you're going to cut at an upwards angle towards the side that has the opening. And then when you do that, you get this really pretty dovetail on your ribbon. It's just one of those really nice little finishing touches that kind of go a long way, I think at least. So there you go, just like so. Super pretty, super simple, and there we have our little bow. I will fiddle with it a little bit more because I want the tails to lay a little bit nicer, but for right now, that is good enough for me, okay? I just really want the general placement of the bow because now what we are going to do, you could leave it at this. You could leave it at this phase. Honestly, it's gorgeous just like this. You could do literally just this and have a beautiful card. what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Elegant Faceted Gems. Maybe if I can get them out. There we go. And I'm going to put gems all over this thing. So I will show you my sample here because I did something a little bit different on my sample that I wanted to talk about. So in the die set, there are these little circles. So you'll see these bigger like white circles. Those were cut out using our felt sheets. While I think it's really, really pretty, I wanted to just do gems for this card because I don't think that it's worth buying the felt sheets just to do a couple circles for this wreath. I'll be honest, I haven't found a big use for the felt sheets. I bought them and with the intention of like, oh my gosh, these are going to be great. And I just haven't really found a ton of uses for them. So I wanted to do this card with just doing the gems to see how it looks because I think that's what most people would end up doing. And so that's what we're going to go with for today. So these Elegant Faceted Gems, there are these clear ones and then these kind of like pearlescent type ones. I'm going to use a combination of both, I think, for this, just because I think it'll be really pretty. So I'm going to start with the big ones. And the reason that I wanted to do my bow is because I want to see where exactly my bow is going to lay. So I can kind of put my gems, where it's not going to interfere with the bow, if that makes sense. So I need to get a little bit more putty on my tool. And so I've talked about this in my top tools video is where I talked about this, but my Take Your Pick tool, I actually use the putty side of it, but I don't leave the putty in the tool itself. I use it just as like its own little separate tool, but when I need to push more putty out, I will screw it back in so I can get that putty out. So that's what I was doing. And then I like kind of tap it down for a second, and then I can go in and get some more gems. So I'm just going to place these bad boys all over. I am just going to kind of do it and not think too much about it because when I start thinking about it, then it starts becoming overwhelming and I overthink it and it's just not a good time. So, and you guys, I think it just makes it look so, so, so pretty. I just love it. I love these gems too. I don't know that I've used up as many gems in one pack as I have with these before. Like they are just so nice. They're so easy to work with. They're so pretty. And the other thing that I was going to mention, so I was talking, oh my gosh, unless I'm having like a super hard time getting them out. One thing that I was going to mention, I was saying like sometimes you can see some of the dimensionals through. If you are having that issue, place a gem on top of where that dimensional is, and I promise probably no one will ever even notice because all they're going to be seeing is that really pretty gem. And like I said, I'm going pretty heavy with these because I really like the look of them and I like the look of them kind of all over the place, but don't feel like you have to. If you only want to use a couple, use a couple. I mean, it's not, nobody's going to fault you for it. It's your project. Do it how you want to do it. That is the beauty of crafting, is you get to decide how you want something to look. So I'm going to hold this up just so I can kind of see and get a better idea of what exactly it looks like and where I may want something else. I think I want something right there. And I think that's good. I think I'm going to leave it at that. So now all there is to do, I'm going to crease this really nicely one more time. And that is our card for today, you guys. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can really see it. But that's our card. So easy, so simple to do. And I'm telling you, I love this one. So I'll bring in this other and show you that there is definitely a difference. Like having these little white circles really help, it really pops off of the green. What you could do, so that little circle is in this die set, you could just do those out of Whisper White and not do the felt. That would be that you would get a very similar effect. So play around with it, use the materials that you have. I think both options are absolutely gorgeous. I love both of them, and I am so happy with how these turned out. So as I mentioned before, everything that I used in this project can be purchased just by going to littlemooncreation.stampinup.net. You can purchase 24/7, and I truly appreciate everybody that helps out my little business and my little store. My little heart has been very grateful recently, and I just really feel like I need to say thank you and tell you guys that. So You can purchase 24/7, littlemooncreation.stampin.net. The coordinating blog post, which is the first link in the description box below, will give you all of the details, like I was saying. So paper sizes, products, all of that good stuff is in the description box below, or is in the blog post, which is in the description box below. You can also just check out littlemooncreation.com. So if you haven't been following along for the last 9 days of my little 25 days of Christmas, you can definitely go back and check those out. See all the stuff that I've been up to, keep up with me beyond this even, and there's tons of fun stuff to see there. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one, which will be tomorrow. Bye!